This case has opened the box to the blame game, really, this time between city and state leaders going back and forth.
Yeah, we started to see this over the weekend, so now we know the investigation. The governor, Mike Braun, he posted some things on social media, first saying city leaders must do their jobs and hold criminals accountable. Hoosiers deserve better, praying for a full recovery for Mark Sanchez. Now, you might not have seen this.
Right, this was hours after the investigation and the news started to come out, and then someone later deleted this post not too long after. Well, now we're hearing from Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears about the spat that he calls disappointing, some of those comments.
He says the governor was making assumptions and really didn't have all the facts before that post.
Anytime people jump to conclusions and don't rely on facts, that's obviously disappointing. We need substantive responses that actually address the challenges that we're facing and give everybody the tools and resources that they need to be successful.
Now, we did reach out to the governor's office several times yesterday. We did not hear back.
Now, our coverage of this case is online as well. There you can find a full breakdown of the lawsuit, plus the timeline of the investigation and some more of the back and forth and the explanation about the information that's come out since then. We'll continue to give you updates on new developments as we learn them here.
Well, a man is recovering after a shooting on the east side of Indianapolis.
He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Is now said to be stable this morning. This happened around 7:30 last night along Washington Street near Ritter Avenue. Police say neighbors got into a fight over noise, and that led to a shooting.
Now, they did confirm they detained someone at the scene. It's not clear if that person is a suspect or faces any charges. But if you have any information about what happened here, you are asked to reach out to IMPD, or as always, you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously.
In just the first week of October, we've already had more fatal accidents involving pedestrians in Indianapolis than all of September.
This is so troubling. We're seeing this so often, and unfortunately, there were multiple instances of this over the weekend. 2 people, in fact, in separate incidents dying, both hit on Indianapolis streets with those tragic outcomes.
The first was Saturday morning on Shaylin Avenue on the east side. That's where 58-year-old Stephen Dink died after he was hit by a car near 34th Street. The driver did stay there on the scene until police and medics arrived.
But that was not the case in the northwest side. Metro Police tell us just before midnight Sunday, officers found 32-year-old Avery Devon Neal dead in the road. Police believe he was hit by a car at Michigan and Cooper Roads.
His family describes him as a mindful and fun-loving son. They also say that he survived the FedEx mass shooting in Indianapolis in 2021 and got back on the jobs just months later, and they're now dealing with this loss.
It's not worth it, taking someone else's life because you're trying to get to a destination.
We really loved Avery, and he had a lot of life in front of him.
His family says that a Good Samaritan actually blocked traffic with their car after seeing what had happened, though the driver left the scene. IMPD did not share a suspect vehicle description. Both deaths, though, now push the total of pedestrians killed this year to 25.
Well, after months of debate, Indianapolis now has a 2026 budget totaling $1.7 billion.
But it didn't come without some frustrations. Marina Silva is in downtown Indianapolis this morning with some of the key details that came out of that meeting last night and about this year's budget. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Well, it was a lot of back and forth in just some of those final moments, and even some counselors were alleging censorship. But let's look at first what was approved. The final budget adds about $20 million to IMPD. It also triples the amount of money set aside for road repairs and includes $10 million to match future infrastructure funds for the state. These budget talks started earlier this year, and some county counselors say there's only so much money that can be split.
And right now the pie's just not big enough. And we have pushed, and we're going to push harder, that the city must increase the pie. We must increase our revenue. And that's been made difficult to do from the state.
Well, last night's passage also featured hours of debate from both sides before the vote. Councilor Jesse Brown accused Democratic leadership of, quote, gaslighting and shutting out voices from budget discussions. Democratic councilors eventually made a motion to end debate and move to a vote. It's a move that Minority Councilor Brian Mowry called, quote, censorship, saying it silenced his members before they could make closing remarks. The Republican caucus of the council issued a statement after the meeting saying, "The Republican caucus refuses to rubber stamp failure. We will always work towards solutions that bring safer neighborhoods and stronger infrastructure. Until Mayor Hogsett and council Democrats put forth a budget that reflects those priorities, they can count on our continued opposition." Now, IMPD is seeing the biggest chunk of that money, so we're breaking down a little bit more about what that money is going to be used for coming up at 6:30.
All right, Marina, thank you. Your time is 6:10. The council also approved a proposal rejecting plans for an AES rate hike.
It's essentially a symbolic gesture because the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission has the final say on the rate increase. But councilors say they really want to send a message and make it to the company and the governor.
If AES does not withdraw the proposal, this measure urges the IURC to reject it. The governor has also voiced his opposition to raising rates. IURC's decision, though, is expected not until the spring. The U.S. government has now been shut down for a full week. We have the latest efforts to get these important agencies back open this morning.
The shutdown now impacting air travel. We'll tell you which airport had to turn away passengers because there were no air traffic controllers on duty.
Oh, and bad news. Colts kicker Spencer Schrader out for the season after he was hurt during Sunday's game. We've got the next steps for the team as they're looking ahead to week 6 now.